if they're not comfortable opening up, maybe it's the environment, maybe it's, I mean, there could be many reasons why they're not comfortable opening up to you right now. And so that's totally okay. Usually what I would say is like, okay, I mean, that's fine, but just to let you know I am here if you need to talk, and just being there like when they feel comfortable is important, and letting them know that.
Initially, it's best to give people time. I think that a lot of people aren't really used to getting a chance to talk to people, or they, for some reason, have discomfort surrounding that. Unless there's another reason that leads you to believe that things are reaching a level where there might have to be some sort of intervention from somebody other than yourself, it's sometimes good just to reassure your friend and say, I'm always here if you would like to talk. And if there's anything I can do with, even if you don't want to talk about it, just let me know.
Just giving them an invitation whenever they're ready to come to me is helpful.
Respect the fact that they might not want to talk about it, but later I'll ask about it again.
Sometimes there are people that it does take like a little extra, are you sure? Well, you can talk to me about anything, like those kind of phrases I'll use.
I need a little nudge sometimes to share. But I think sometimes that nudge lets people know that you are listening and that you do want to hear what they have to say.
I think at that time, I honestly just play distraction because they just need to get their mind off of what's going on. So we do things that they like, play video games, take them out for a walk, even a drive too, just driving around with your friend, playing music. It's really healing. So that helps. And then they usually kind of go into talking about it once that's, they're not feeling it as much. It helps me because I don't tell anyone what's wrong, and it's hard. So when my friends pick up on that, they're like, okay, let's do what you want to do. Let's have a time. And then that usually results in me being like, okay, here's what's going on.
Sometimes I share first. I find that it's a lot easier to talk about mental health when both parties are involved. I give them language to express their experiences because I've been through a lot of therapy where I've learned to talk about how I'm feeling, and it used to be hard for me to do that because I didn't have the words. So sometimes I just tell them how I'm doing and what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking, and then I give them time. But as long as they know that there's somebody there for them and they're not alone in how they're feeling, I think that's helpful.
I never try to overstep any boundaries, but basically I ask if they bring something up in conversation, I tend to ask oh, do you want to talk a little bit more about that? Can I ask about that? But if they don't feel comfortable talking about that, I make it clear that it's all right. They don't have to tell me, but I do make it clear that I am there for them, even without even me knowing what's going on.
Just sit with them and be comfortable in the silence. Let them process it, because sometimes they don't even know how to describe what they're struggling with. And so just allowing them the space to think and process that is really important. Not pushing too far, because sometimes it does take time. But I always think that it's really important to eventually come back around to it, and remembering that your friends had something on their mind that was bothering them and coming back to it later.
Try to really keep in touch and just keep talking to them and asking these questions, even if they don't feel like sharing everything.
What are the things that I can do without you needing to talk about it initially? And also just reassure them, of privacy, and that, it's not a burden. And so reassuring that person that it is in no way a problem for you to listen to their issues is just something that can mean a lot to that person, I think.
If you're resistant to opening up and you wait until you're in crisis, it can be a lot harder to have conversations about your mental health. So with trusted friends or adults, try to establish a regular mental health check-in, and it'll become a lot easier when you are really struggling to reach out.
Just telling your friends what you need is so important. Don't be afraid to tell them what you need, because it can make your life so much easier.
Hey, I'm here to listen, whatever you want to talk about. There's no judgment here. I'm happy to be someone you can vent to.
Even though you may not want to talk to me at this moment, I am here for you.
Hey, whenever you want to talk, I'm here. If you want to call me, I don't care what time it is. I always leave my phone on for friends.